Getting geeked. Getting geeked. Getting geeked with Danny Allen. Getting geeked. Getting geeked. Getting geeked with Danny Allen.
All right. What's going on, everybody? This is episode 26 of Getting Geeked with me, your boy Danny Allen. Watching, listening on Spotify, watching on YouTube, wherever you're listening. There has been some news. There's news. At this point, you already know the Henry Cavill situation. You know what's going on with James Gunn and his plan for the DC universe. We're gonna get into that. We also got some Pokemon news. Kind of weird, considering Pokemon's been around for almost 25 years, something like that. And Ash's story is coming to a close. And then after that, we got Donald Glover. I wonder what he's gonna do in the future. We'll talk about it. Ahsoka leaks, storyline leaks. What? Yeah, man. Okay. Let's talk about this Pokemon situation. Coming up, Ash Ketchum is no longer going to be the focus of the main Pokemon anime series. They're taking a step back from the Ash Ketchum character. He's been holding it down for 25 years. He's been a real one. He's had its run. He had a good run. He ran plenty times. But yes, they are choosing to move on from Ash Ketchum. And they're introducing some new characters. Not for me. I hope they bring back Ash later on as like an adult. That's everybody wants that to happen. But that's just like fan theories and stuff like that. Yeah, so Pokemon, it is what it is. I've been trying to catch up, but every time I think I'm caught up, there's like two to four more seasons in front of me. I'm like, geez, all right, okay, that's enough. Coming up next, Donald Glover. What's he gonna do next? Atlanta, another season. Han Solo as Lando. Is he coming back? Nah. Donald Glover announced he's going to be Hypno Hustler for Sony, a spin-off Spider-Man movie, live action. I'm not going to lie. I don't know who the Hypno Hustler is. Wasn't in the animated series. And yeah, no, I'm not familiar with this character. But I'm familiar with Donald Glover, and I like Spider-Man and all his characters, so I'm going to give this a chance, obviously. But it's definitely not at the top of my list. I'm looking forward to Silk. Venom 3, is it right? Yeah, Venom 3. Whatever they're going to do with Tom Holland, if they do something with Tom Holland. It's just, oh, and then the Craven movie, of course. I'm stoked. And then Madam Web. That's going to be cool. There's going to be different Spider-Man in that movie, apparently. I don't know. And we just got the teaser trailer for Across the Spider-Verse. Tons of cameos from a bunch of different Spider-Man. The PS1, the PS4 version of Spider-Man. Just a bunch of cameos. But my fear with that is that just means that those characters aren't going to get a lot of screen time. It's probably going to be in one scene. And that's kind of a bummer. But maybe they'll surprise me. And, I really liked the PS1 version of Spider-Man. And then, of course, the animated series from, 94. That Spider-Man was his peak voiceover. It's just animation, villain portrayals, the way their characters are designed. It's just very fluid between the comics and what we got out of that series. What do you guys think about this Donald Glover movie in the Spider-Man spin-off world? The Spider-Verse movies, I guess. I don't know. Let me know what's going on with it. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Coming up, we have to talk about this. Ahsoka leaks, storyline leaks. Okay, this is going to be spoiler territory here. Spoilers. So, get ready. Our boy's back. Yet again, Hayden Christensen. He's back. Apparently, making Star Wars or something. Star Wars News or some one of these sites, they have stated Hayden Christensen is going to be back in multiple eras. Like the Clone Wars. They're going to have a flashback episode or scenes of Ahsoka and Anakin in the Clone Wars. Throwback. They're probably going to use some technology. Very exciting. This is why Ahsoka is my most anticipated Star Wars show coming. When is it coming? 2023? 2024? I'm not really sure. That and The Acolyte. This is going to be sick. Apparently, Ahsoka is going to have multiple versions. We're going to see her like age basically, and we've basically seen that already in animation. But just to have them solidify that in live action, I'm here for it. What do you guys think about this Ahsoka news? Hayden Christensen coming back as Anakin, Darth Vader. Another spoiler. Apparently, we're gonna see her fighting Anakin on Mustafar in like a what if type sequence. What's that about? Is that gonna be like a dream she has or like a vision? I don't know. Comment below in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Let's get to the real here. Let's get to the real. James Gunn. Oh, I said this a couple weeks ago. He's the director's director. He's not gonna just fire everybody. Right? Henry Cavill is no longer Superman. I don't know how many times I've talked about Henry Cavill as Superman since I started this podcast. It's been a back and forth thing. We never got a real answer, and then we actually got a real answer. And then James Gunn took over and changed everything. And, that's fine. Because at this point, it's been 10 years, like I said before. It's been 10 years, and nothing's really... We haven't really gotten what these characters need out of these 10 years. The way they used the time, they didn't use it wisely. So, yeah, I'm kind of stoked for James Gunn's vision. Henry Cavill is peak Superman. How they're going to spin this into the new version James Gunn is writing. He wants to go back to a younger, not origin, but a younger Superman, Clark Kent, reporter story angle. I'm kind of over the whole Daily Planet kind of thing. I feel like Superman has evolved so much more since that story has been told. So just to go back to that kind of that's kind of playing it safe, which isn't bad. But for Superman, we've already seen Superman in with the Justice League. So him going back to being just a normal reporter. Some people are gonna love it because that's why they love Superman. His dual identities, Clark Kent. I prefer the more alien side of Superman. But yeah, man, it all depends because James Gunn's a dope writer. He's a great director. So we don't know who's going to direct this. I doubt James Gunn does direct, but he only directs stuff he writes. So don't be surprised if James Gunn starts directing this movie. And because he's already announced that Henry Cavill is out and he's writing the movie himself, that's got to be the first one out of the gate. They're going to put out a Superman movie first, which is smart because Matt Reeves and James Gunn both came out and said, yeah, the Batman universe is not going to be included in this new DC universe, which I got that prediction wrong. I called it 4 months ago that whoever was going to be put in charge, they're going to do a full reboot. Everybody's gone. Everybody, including Black Adam. And The Rock just unfollowed the Black Adam Instagram account and Warner Brothers Discovery Instagram account. So, but yeah, I got that part right, but I got the Batman being included into the new story wrong. However, there's one caveat here. Matt Reeves doesn't want to incorporate him. I think James Gunn might want to. What does that mean? That means James Gunn, theory number one, James Gunn could possibly wait it out with Batman, with the Batman trilogy. He could let Matt Reeves tell his trilogy, and then Matt Reeves would be done. But then James Gunn could be like, hey, Robert, here's a bag. Then you bring in Pattinson as that Batman. There's no need to go out and put out another Batman solo movie in the new DC universe as long as the Batman with Pattinson is going on. That's why he's writing Superman first. Don't be surprised if we get another Wonder Woman movie first before another Batman movie. Possibly Green Lantern. What I'm saying is James Gunn is going to develop everybody else in the Justice League besides Batman until Matt Reeves finishes his trilogy. But I could be wrong. That's theory number one. Theory number two, James Gunn cast a totally new Batman separate from Robert Pattinson. But if he does do that, will it be simultaneously with the release of the Batman 2 and 3, or will, once again, James Gunn wait it out until Pattinson finishes his trilogy? And that goes back into my original theory. He's going to develop all the other Justice League characters first. That's theory number two. Theory number three, he could start with a Justice League movie. Boom, here's your new Justice League. Comes out at Comic-Con, brings out the whole new Justice League cast. That would be so sick. You don't need a bunch of solo movies. This isn't 2008 anymore. And given the fact they already want to introduce these characters like already into their stories. They want to like make them a team already working together. But the thing is that rules out theory 3 kind of is this news that James wants to write a Superman movie first. So, take it for what it is. There's 3 theories for you. I'm leaning more towards James Gunn recasting Batman and just waiting out the Pattinson trilogy. And then he'll start introducing Batman. Because we're not getting the Batman until at least 2024, right? Because, they're not even... He's still writing the script. How is Matt Reeves still writing the script? He should have a trilogy outline going into something like this. And if he doesn't have a trilogy outline, who's to say Matt Reeves... or James Gunn gives Matt Reeves, the Batman. He's like, all right, you got the Batman too, and that's it. Maybe he doesn't even let Matt Reeves finish a trilogy. It could just be the Batman 2. If it wasn't for James Gunn referencing Matt Reeves and saying, yo, the Batman's going to be left alone, I would have said the Batman 2 could be shelved in order to bring in a new Batman. But, it just depends on how you're looking at these things. And what do you want? Because a lot of people want the Batman to be its own thing, its own universe. It's grounded. You can't have other aliens. Who's making these rules? Why? Batman always operates with the Justice League. Eventually. Batman, the animated series, Homeboy had 4 seasons of solo work, and then he slowly introduced Robin, then Batgirl, and then another Robin and Nightwing. That was a solid progression for Batman, the animated series, New Adventures of Batman and Robin. And then they had the Superman animated series, built him out for, I don't know how many seasons that ran, 3 seasons or whatever. And that was a great series. If they make Superman, if James Gunn were to do Superman, he should do it like the Superman animated series. Just like Matt Reeves is doing the Batman, it's totally reminiscent of the animated series. We're seeing him in year 2, but year 10, Pattinson, he could easily have a Justice League. Easily. By the end of the Batman 2, he should have a Robin. Possibly introduce Barbara Gordon. So by the time the Batman 3 rolls around, you can have a full-fledged Nightwing and another Robin. Or some, if they wanted to do that. But they have to speed up because they're already taking their time with this. It's going to be another two years at least until we see another Batman, the Batman 2. So they're going to have to speed up this timeline developing Pattinson, because you can't just have another Batman movie with Robert Pattinson and just have him be Batman. You have to introduce a new element to make his character more interesting. Have him operate with another type of, like off another character, like a Robin or a Batgirl. I just think that's the natural progression of the character. And when you take that away and you're like, no, this Batman is just gritty. It's just, there's no aliens. Like, dude, like, people said that about Man of Steel. Like, when that shit came out, they're like, oh, there's no way a Batman could be in this world. Because, you know, people just found out about Superman. Like, there's no way. I mean, I remember when those conversations were happening. There's no way that a Batman could exist in this Man of Steel universe. And then look what happened. We got Ben Affleck, one of the best Batman to exist. So it's, you guys don't believe it until you see it, and I respect that. But we saw Henry Cavill come back, and he announced that he was back, and then we got it taken away from us. So even if it comes from the actors themselves, and it's just, you can't believe it. You can't believe it until you see it in the theater. At this point, we saw Batgirl stills and promo art, got it taken away from us. So until you see it on screen, don't believe it. This Flash stuff is crazy. Also, this is all part of the DC topic, okay? The Flash, it was getting such good screenings, and people were so hyped about it. That's what people are saying about this. The Flash movie is so good, it has to come out in it has to come out in theaters. Okay, that's the case, right? Why are we finding out that they're taking out Henry Cavill's cameo and Wonder Woman's cameo? They're taking out the Justice League cameo in the Flash movie. So they are admitting they're going to give us an inferior product by taking out those scenes, because those scenes were in the movie when they test screened it. And people are like, oh, why should I go see these next movies if we know if they're dead on arrival, basically? And half the community's like, to enjoy the movie, to enjoy the story and the experience of that movie. And then there's a whole nother side of people that are like, no, I'm not going to the movie unless I know it's a shared cinematic universe, and it's building a bunch of different elements. It's like, it's not worth my time if, like, people are really like that. But then I'm like, you got Joker. That was sick, and it was its own standalone thing. So I'm kind of in the middle, because, you know, it's hard. It's just really tough. It's just really complicated, because the Joker also fell into the pressures of getting a sequel. And, oh, this is a one and done, and this is like a Oscar bait movie, right? Joaquin's like, I'm only going to do one. But look what they're doing. They're doing Joker 2. And they're introducing a Harley Quinn. And they got their own little universe. Zaslav, but we haven't even talked about Zaslav. He's just like, yeah, he was there when they made the choice to bring back Henry Cavill. The Rock is the one that peer pressured him into that. And it backfired. And so at that point, when they announced James Gunn, Zaslav's like, do what you want. Do what you want, James. Because, you know, Black Adam movie only made 378 million or something. It didn't even break the 400 mark. So every DC movie that's been coming out recently, the trajectory of the box office is just not it's not a representation of where those movies should be. Joker got $1 billion. Granted, Aquaman got $1 billion. But Aquaman was in 2018. It's 2022. Wonder Woman 84 didn't do great. They scrapped the third movie. Patty Jenkins, she's put passing the ball back to Warner Brothers. Like, wasn't me. She's like, I didn't walk from that movie. I would have worked with them. It was out of my hands. She's like, they're blowing everything up over there. Like, it was out of my control. There's nothing I could have done. So, like, it was already done. James came back from that trip from Aspen. He's like, I got a whole new Bible, 10 years. You guys have had your 10 years. It's time for my 10 years. And I still think that includes Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad. All that's gone too, man. Peacemaker might get one more season to wrap things up. And that's cool. People think the Flash is going to reset the timeline, right? What if Peacemaker reset the timeline and he accidentally pushes a button that says reboot, and then as soon as he presses that button, boom, the screen goes black like The Sopranos. Boom. That's how they should end Peacemaker season 2. That's how they should reboot the universe. It's not the Flash. It's Peacemaker pressing a button. That's his reboot. Hey, what's this do? Bam. Fade to black. Thank you. You're welcome, James Gunn. You can take that. But yes, this news. I've covered Henry Cavill, The Rock. Oh, we have to talk about Ben Affleck. Oh, Ben Affleck. James Gunn said, I talked to Ben Affleck in person yesterday. We just don't know what kind of movie he would want to direct. And like, of course he'll direct a DC movie. And people are getting people are getting hyped about it. I kind of think it's bullshit. I think James Gunn sat down with Ben Affleck, and he said, hey man, we know you don't want to be the Batman anymore. The Flash was your last one. Great. We're going to recast the new Batman. I just think they were trying to hide what was really going on. I think he fired Ben Affleck, and then that was it. I don't think Ben Affleck's going to direct the DC movie. I could be wrong. I just get that feeling. I think Ben Affleck would want to direct like another movie, but he wouldn't want to direct a DC movie. He wanted to direct the Batman. I don't see him directing another character that's not the Batman. Because he had that chance to direct his Batman movie, and he chose not to do it. So, I don't know how I feel about it. Because, dude, he's The Town, amazing. Argo, amazing. Live by Night was okay. But it's just Gone Girl, right? I want to believe it. I want to believe it. Until then, what is he gonna direct? Green Arrow movie? Do you really want a Green Arrow movie directed by Ben Affleck when you know deep down he was supposed to direct the Batman with Deathstroke as the villain? It's like, knowing that, it's just going to be always in your head. It's remnant of what could have been. It's got to go. Aquaman. So I covered Ben Affleck. Let's cover Jason Momoa. Aquaman. They cut out a bunch of... they cut out Ben Affleck's scene. This is leading in. So we talked about Ben, but Ben's also included in this Aquaman story. They cut out Ben's cameo from Aquaman 2. That one, all that whole stuff of like, Ben and Jason are on the lot, the WB lot. They're shooting scenes for Aquaman 2. And then he's on the red carpet. I don't want to say anything right now, but our boy's back. Ben's back. He did this whole thing, and that's all gone. So all this hype that we've been getting this last year and a half, 2 years probably, leading up to this possible Justice League 2. After the Flash, we all assumed that these guys are going to come back in some kind of rebooted timeline with these original actors. That was the plan. They were writing a Man of Steel 2 with Brainiac. All that's gone. James Gunn's like, you know what? Nah. What a savage, dude. What a savage. Because he's supposed to be friends with these people, too. Because James Gunn is known to be like this friendly director person. He did Scooby-Doo, so he has this like element to him. People, like, everybody seems to like, he's one of those directors that people will pay attention to. That's why he can tweet on. He can go on Twitter and interact with his fans, because that's just, it's like something a new CEO would do. He's like infiltrated the CEO title now, and he's doing some real comic book type shit right now. It's like, I'm cleaning the table, but then like why? But then even if he's rebooting everybody, that gives like a better opportunity to throw everybody into the Flash movie as just a final kind of thing. They could have just added everybody into the Flash movie, make it a final, because they're trying to avoid this Ezra Miller tie. Like we have to talk about Ezra, so I'm all over the place. There's so many characters, but this whole Ezra thing, they don't want to market Ezra as like the actor in this movie. They want to market the Flash. So instead of having it be called the Flash, or whatever they're going to call it, they should throw all the Justice League characters in it. They know they're rebooting, so throw all the Justice League characters in it. We know Ben Affleck's already in the Flash. Make that final Flash movie in Justice League. Call it Justice League Flashpoint. Just call it Justice League Flashpoint. You don't have to market the Flash. That's what I was trying to say. You don't have to market the Flash. Just market it as Justice League Flashpoint. One last Justice League movie to wrap it all up. It would make everything else worth watching leading up to, well, Aquaman 2 now comes out after. So Aquaman 2 is the last movie, and they took out Ben. So even then, still, call it Justice League Flashpoint. Maybe they push Aquaman 2 so it comes out before the Flash again, because they're always shuffling dates. But yes, they need to change the subject, right? Give them a send-off, but they're choosing to take out those cameos from the Flash. So, and if they stick with the original ending, it's Michael Keaton as Batman, which makes no sense because they canceled his Batman Beyond movie and they canceled Batgirl, which both had Michael Keaton. So it's like they have to change the ending to the Flash for it to make sense. Because if it just leads into like something else that's not going to happen, this is like a Dark Phoenix type of thing. We all know what happened with Dark Phoenix. It was like a flat experience. Like, oh yeah, this is it. This is it. This is the end. And then New Mutants, poor bastard. They kept delaying that movie for a good 3 years, 4 years, something wild. Eventually, they dropped it on Hulu. Yeah. So if they're not going to make a spectacle of the Flash movie and throw every Justice League character they have in there and change the title, Justice League Flashpoint, take the edge off Ezra. You don't have to talk about Ezra. That's the smart thing to do. But no, they're savage with it. They're like, nope, we're taking out every remnant character that you would think would lead into something else. Oh, Wonder Woman 3's canceled, so can't have her in the Flash. That's just the way they think about it. They don't have to pay Gal $10 million, $20 million, or whatever she was getting paid for Wonder Woman 3. I think it was $10 million. Like, nah, we're good. We'll just cast a younger actress. We'll pay her $1 million or whatever. Another unknown. And they'll have her sign a 6 movie contract or something. It's just the way the business works, man. It's really fucked up because Gal didn't do anything wrong in the situation. You know. And we talked about this Patty Jenkins thing. Just passing the ball around. Just weird times, man. Weird times for the DC universe. Rebirth is upon us. Whether it be a whole new universe or the Batman universe. I just don't. I'm going to say it again. I don't want two Batmans at the same time. They got to wait until Pattinson finishes his run. And at that point, I hope they snag him. Come with us, Pattinson. Come join the Justice League. Because at that point, they'll have all the characters. If they go that solo movie route. I don't want them to. They should film a Justice League trilogy back to back, like the Lord of the Rings. And in between those movies, you put out a couple solo movies. Justice League 1. Superman. Wonder Woman. Flash. Justice League 2, because you still got the Batman movies going on, right? Justice League 2. Then you got Green Lanterns. Hawkman. What do you want more? Green Arrow, Martian Manhunter, one of those. Justice League 3. And you can put out and you can release Justice League 1, 2, and 3 over the span of 6 years, every 2 years. But if you film them back to back, you already have your story and you're sitting on that. And then, because everything's planned, they have this massive Bible, right? I don't know how they're going to do it, but that's how I would. Film those movies back to back. Film that trilogy all the trilogies, film them back to back. Get it done. Filmmaking at this point with the green screen usage and the volume, they can churn these things out fairly quickly unless you're really going down to the nitty gritty like Joker. The streets of New York City. Get them done. Film them back to back. Come on, guys. That's been episode 26 of Getting Geeked with your boy, Danny Allen. Thanks for listening. It's been a nice ride. This is episode 26. Who knows, maybe next week Henry will be back and James Gunn will be fired. We'll never know. Well, we might know, but this is going to be the last podcast of the year. I might have one more podcast. I don't know if I want to do it on Thursday or Friday of next week. That's Christmas time. So pretty much everybody's taking a break after this week through Christmas and New Year's. And then people will be back. But I'm pretty sure I'll be posting shorts and TikToks, and I'll be doing more breakdown videos, and we'll see what happens. Episode 26. Go fuck yourself.
Getting geeked. Getting geeked. Getting geeked with Danny Allen. Getting geeked. Getting geeked. Getting geeked with Danny Allen.